Hello, welcome to Lil's Vintage World. This video is a book review of Nemesis by Agatha Christie, first published in 1971 and is a Miss Marple mystery. So Nemesis is a sort of sequel of another Agatha Christie Miss Marple novel of a Caribbean mystery, first published in 1964. So I'm briefly going to talk about this, then we'll get on to this. So A Caribbean Mystery by Agatha Christie starts with Miss Marple going off to Saint Honoré in the Caribbean for her health. And there a murder takes place, of course. And herself, along with the help of a man called Mr. Raphael, they work together to solve this murder and others that take place. And although Miss Marple is certainly wrapping everything up and she is finding the solution, Mr. Raphael is a real integral part of the story. So that is A Caribbean Mystery. It's my favourite Miss Marple book and has been for years and years and years, and I absolutely adore it. The sort of sequel to that is Nemesis, and I would say that if you are interested in reading Nemesis after this video, I would say go and read A Caribbean Mystery first. You don't have to, but it certainly kind of helps to give the backstory a little bit more. So Nemesis starts with Miss Marple going to her papers. She reads the paper every day and she goes to the obituary column because she's like, well, this is where I read about people that I know most. It's not the marriages or the births anymore, it is the obituaries, it's the death column. So she's there and she's reading about these people that have died, and she comes across the name Mr. Raphael, and it doesn't instantly click who he is to her, but she knows that she knows him. But she's not quite sure how to connect the dots yet. But then it slowly dawns on her. She's like, oh, of course, we were in the Caribbean together and we solved this crime together, and it comes to her. Later on, time passes and she receives a letter in the post and she's instructed to go to his solicitors because she has been left something in the will. So she goes and she is informed by the solicitors that there is £20,000 ready and waiting for her on condition that she goes and investigates something on behalf of Mr. Raphael. And she accepts. She accepts because she thinks, oh, £20,000 is a lot of money, and she can get some partridges for herself because she hasn't been able to do that in a long time, and she does enjoy a partridge. But also she thinks it's just generally the right thing to do. There's something that has been left for her to do, and Mr. Raphael obviously thinks she's the right person to take it on, so she accepts. And slowly but surely we are drip-fed, as Miss Marple is drip-fed, this story of what she needs to uncover. And she essentially goes on this historic houses and gardens bus tour, and she meets different people, and very slowly we uncover what she needs to investigate, which is how Mr. Raphael's son Michael was imprisoned for the murder of a girl called Verity Hunt. And Miss Marple needs to find Verity and find the truth, which is the meaning of the name Verity, and needs to let justice take hold, hence Nemesis. Now, I absolutely love this book, and there's several reasons why. Let me get into them. First of all, I love the use of language. Agatha Christie is, yes, she's the queen of crime, but I think something that she's so good at is her use of language, and the use of language not just in case of the English language, but the use of using other books, other texts. So for instance, the name Nemesis is attributed to Miss Marple, and it's this kind of is she, isn't she Nemesis that we have going on here. Nemesis, of course, was the goddess of retribution and righteousness, and I think she kind of, that is what she symbolises, Miss Marple, because she is there to, in general, not just in this book, but she is there to find the truth. And although she might not be menacing, she is certainly trying to achieve righteousness. She is trying to achieve what is correct. She is trying to bring justice for victims and families. And that's what she does throughout her sleuthing career. And I love how we have this with it. We also have let justice roll down like waters and righteousness an ever-flowing stream. It's something like that. I'm sure I've got those words wrong, but that is a biblical reference. I think it's from the book of Amos, maybe. It's been a long time. But again, it's using references from other places, as well as that we use the actual English language and using the name Verity. Now, fun fact for you, so Lil is shortening for Elizabeth, which is my middle name, but my first name is actually Verity, and there are very, very little books that I find, first of all, my name in, but also find that the meaning of my name is used, and that is completely what the book does. It uses the name Verity, which is veritas, and veritas means in Latin truth. And so when Miss Marple is there to find Verity, it's not just to find Verity as in physically find Verity, not this Verity, obviously, other Verity. Not just physically find Verity, but also find Verity as in find the truth, find what really happened to Verity, and therefore set Michael his justice that he was so denied previously. And also justice for Mefra Raphael as well, because this has obviously been hanging over him and something that he wants to prove. Agatha Christie is such a queen of using language, and she has shown this so many times. I think this is one of her strongest, in which she completely shows that, you know, we know that she uses nursery rhymes an awful lot, but biblical and Shakespeare and mythology, she's such a learned woman, and it's wonderful to see that just so effortlessly done. Next thing that I love about this book, Miss Marple. Miss Marple in this novel is on top form, despite the fact that in this book she is older and slower. By that, what I mean is, in this book there's times where she needs a little nap, or she needs to rest, and she's delegating jobs to other people. Oh, can you go and do this for me? Can you go and do that for me? And she's a lot more of the slower pace Miss Marple that we do see in other novels as well. But despite that, her brain, complete top form. She's very funny and witty, and I just love the amount that we have of her. Miss Marple is such a good character, and I just love reading her, and anytime she's on the page I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm reading it with a smile, and it's just so wonderful to have her there. I really am not keen on the novels of Miss Marple where she's literally hardly in it at all. You'll find those are my least favourite books, because I just love her as a presence of her. And as I said, despite the fact that she's older and slower, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're physically not as there, mentally she's bang on, and it's just so good. Another thing that I love about this book is the pacing. I love how we are drip fed what is going on at the same time that Miss Marple is, and we learn things as Miss Marple does as well, and it feels like we're a little fly on her shoulder and we're just going around, or little fly on her handbag. I think that'd be better. And I just really love the pacing. It's, you know, it's not the smallest of Agatha Christie books, but, you know, you whiz through it so quickly, and I was just completely hooked. And the last thing that I just love about this book is the fact that, for me, I have read this book 3, maybe 4 times. I can't remember how many times I have read this. But it feels like this time round, it was the first real time that I read this. I don't know why I've never really felt connected to this book as much as I did this time round, but this time round there was something very special about it. I was completely hooked this time round, like I've never been before. I've never really appreciated this novel before as much as I did this time round at all. And for me, it feels like I have just uncovered a new Miss Marple novel, and it feels very special. I thought I was done an awful long time ago, because I read all the Miss Marple novels a long time ago, but I've never appreciated this book for what it is before. And perhaps I've never been in the right frame of mind to read it before, but it feels like I've just uncovered a new one, and it's absolutely amazing. And as you can see, I tabbed quite a few little sections that I thought were just absolutely marvellously written, and I just absolutely adored it. So there you have it. That is my review of Nemesis by Agatha Christie. As I said, if you want to go and pick it up, I would advise that you go and read A Caribbean Mystery first, just to see how her and Mr. Raphael kind of get on together, and then it's easier to flow into Nemesis. So please let me know if you have read these books, and if so, what you think of them. I just love them very, very much. And thank you so much for watching this video. Take care, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Bye for now.